Okay, everyone, I am just double checking the mic. Hopefully my mic is working. Let me give it a second. Perfect. Awesome. Probably a little bit of echo. Sorry about that. Just getting the last little big things of everything fixed up, settled up, all that kind of good stuff. So hopefully this is doing what it's supposed to do. And if not, no worries. Okay, so let me get my boots on and everything. And we're gonna go feed the chickens on this lovely, it's a chilly day today. We'll get to the temperature and all that in just a second. Let's get this up in my hand. Okay, need to address one thing real fast, guys. I'm gonna fix this right like that. Here, move this down just a little bit. Perfect. That is how I would like that to be. Okay. So, chilly day. Let's peek at the temperature and we'll get you guys updated. So, current temperature is exactly 30. Yep, looks like 30 degrees, or that would be 0, -1 C. So, gray skies. Very gray sky day. Not bad though. I'm not, by no means am I complaining about it, because it could get worse. And it might get worse. I do want to show you guys, since I'm out here, I want to show you guys something rather interesting, just to show you how chilly and such is. So let's zoom in. I want you guys to see right up there. I don't know if you guys can see, but the tips of those trees are ice covered. So part of that has to do with Winter Place, the ski resort that's in my back, that ski resort that's right up there. But there is that is just icy cold, icy coldness. So the ducks are here waiting for me. I'm running a little behind. That's why all the ducks are sitting here waiting for me. So this is so right here we've got rabbits and ducks and chickens and everything. So I guess we're gonna start off with, what are we gonna start off with today? Let's start off with we'll go in the barn. Let's start off with inside the barn. Let's get all the ducks fed. Let's get everybody in the barn fed, and then we'll move along to everybody else. The quacky ducks are absolutely just quacking away. You guys can probably hear them quacking up that way. Just also, here's the indentation of the Brooklyn Bridge. Part of the reason we added the Brooklyn Bridge is because if you look here, it's just mud. This is wet, gross, snowy, frozen, sloppy mud season. So during mud season, which I'm going to have to be doing some major addressing because I'm just tired of this being so muddy, we'll doing some fixing of that, you know, later this year and into next year, so I'm not having to deal with mud seasons so entirely crazy next year. That is the goal. Okay, so get the ducks out of the way. Here we are in the barn. The nice, quiet, loud, exciting barn. And let's get over to working on the chores. So I think that's good. Yes, awesome. Whew. My hand is chilly. I'm gonna put one of the gloves on because it's just a lot chillier. It is a lot chillier than I was thinking it was going to be today. I don't know why. It's, you know, it's winter. It's cold outside. Just silly me. Just didn't think about it being so chilly. So we're gonna put the duck food over here today, so that it's not jumping. So they're not just all up in my grill as I'm feeding everyone. And I do need to dump one more outside, so let me get that done as well. One more scoop for the outside guys, and we'll be good to go. And then we'll start on all the inside guys and making sure everyone is fed and watered and healthy and good and all the other fun stuff. So if you're new to my channel, what it is during Let's Feed the Chickens time, I'm just out doing chores on my farm. And you guys just come along with me and join me on the fun farm adventures. Usually not that super exciting. We're mostly just chit-chatting about chickens and ducks and rabbits and other questions that folks may have. I'm trying to, also show you guys what chores are like, kind of break down how long it does take to get your chores done, and to go from there. So the other days during the week, on Tuesdays, we do a Thriving in the Chaos show where we just talk about, the last week we talked about water and water catchment and where to catch water, and we watched some videos of other people doing some water catchment and such like that. So mostly, with the exception of a little bit of a gaming that we also do, mostly we're talking about agricultural life, what it's like to live in a region like this, and what it's like to have animals. And all of the funness of doing chores. So chores that need to be done on a daily basis is you definitely have to make sure everybody's fed and watered. You got to make sure it's a good idea to look in all the cages and make sure that everybody's looking happy, healthy. If you notice anything, like you notice a poofed up chicken, or you notice some eggs that are maybe where they shouldn't be, or you notice other things that's going on, it's a good idea to, figure out, to problem solve why that kind of stuff might be going on, so that you can make a good decision on what your next best step is. Because one thing on a farm is a lot of stuff all happens at the same time. It's just snap, and you're just got a million things that you need to get done. And so anything that you have control over, anytime you can plan part of your day, anytime that you have the ounce of control, I highly suggest taking it. And that involves any organization that you can do. If you can set up a routine, and I am not a routine person, but if you can set up a routine, you can set things up in a way that it all just makes sense, then that is something I highly, highly suggest doing. Because there is going to absolutely be enough chaos in any type of order that you attempt to do on a farm. And that's any size farm. That can be a very large farm to a small farm. Most of the time, not most of the time, a lot of times things will feel like they are running smooth and awesome. And that's a lot in the winter. Wintertime is usually my slower time. It's when things run a little bit smoother and a little bit nicer. But it doesn't mean that you should ever let your guard down. Because as soon as you let your guard down and you think that you've got everything going the way it should go, crazy chaos happens. and you have to, and you end up running around working on a chore, like the pig got out, or who knows what else could happen. Or, you've got frozen water, or there's something not doing what it's supposed to do, or you end up having to do a lot of the chores yourself, or who knows what else. So the other thing I suggest, and I think I've mentioned this before, but I like to do a lot of recapping because I think it's good to just do regular reminders. It's a good idea to have your chores written down so that if you do have someone coming in helping, or you have an intern, or you've got someone that's going to come and hang out and help you out, you have everything easy, in a very easy way to explain it, so that the average person, not knowing anything about chickens, not knowing anything about any of that, can easily jump in and just help without a whole lot of verbal instructions. I mean, of course, you're always going to need a little bit of verbal instructions, but without, really just getting in and explaining. So what we do, and what I'm going to get far better at in the coming months, is labeling everything. Actually, it's pretty boring. You guys might want to see this instead. It's a little bit more exciting to look down here while I'm doing this over here. So getting good instructions on what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding sticker colors and such, so people know about how much feed to add to each of the cages, which scoopers to use, information about water, and information to make it just easy for someone to come in and pick up where I'm at and run with it. Because while none of this is complicated, there is particular steps that do make it easier if you do those steps in order, so that you don't forget to get anyone the food or the water that they need. And there is definitely more efficient ways to do all the feeding and get everybody fed and watered. There's very efficient ways. There's ways to do this if you need to do it quickly. There's ways to do it that is very precise, where you're watching and you're looking at you're coming and you're really breaking down. You're getting a good look at every bird to make sure that you don't overlook anything. So it all depends on if it's a really detailed day. If you've got the time, I always suggest making your adventures around the barn as detailed as possible. I mean, the main reason you're raising your animals is so that they live a healthy, happy life. And if your animals are going to live a healthy, happy life, you, as the steward, needs to make sure that you catch any issues before they occur. So you want to make sure that no one is sick, that no one's injured. And if they are injured, how did they get injured? Was it something that they did? Is it something that you can fix? Because maybe it was something in the cage broke and you just hasn't realized it. So lots of stuff. So let's get everybody watered in here. That way I can have the barn done, and then we can switch over to the other important steps when it happens. So in the winter, I would say the most important thing is to always make sure all of your birds and all of your animals have as clean water as possible. So what that means is you should be comfortable drinking the water that you're feeding your animals, and you should be comfortable right when you put the water into the container. You should feel comfortable being able to drink it right from the container that you're putting the water into. So if the container you're putting the water into is nasty, dirty, and gross, if it's got a little bit of dirt, that's no big deal. But if it's nasty, dirty, and gross, and it doesn't look that appetizing for you to drink, then it's probably not healthy and appetizing for the animals to drink. So we do something different. We use the little deli cups. So that's the little plastic cups and such that you can get for, that snacks and such come in. We use deli cups for a lot of stuff. The reason is because if the deli cups get too gross or too nasty, they are very easy just to change out. And they don't cost a whole lot. And if they break or anything of that sort, just an easy peasy fix. And then when we are bigger guys, and the guys that are running around and stuff like that, what we use in those situations is we use the rubberized bowls. So the reason we use the rubberized bowls for those type of things is because the rubberized bowls do not crack during the winter, where we've had some of the other bowls throughout the courses of the years, they have cracked, and having to deal with broken glass and broken bowls is just not something you want to have to deal with in the middle of winter, having to pick out ice and glass together, because you both give you a high probability of cutting you, and it's just not I don't know, I just personally, those are things that I absolutely try to avoid. I try to avoid having more work for myself than I need it to be. So you can't quite see what I'm doing. I don't have the camera set up just well, but what we're doing is I have jugs. So we have they're about five or so gallon jugs. We fill up water and such in here, and it's just easy to move that around. Hello, friend. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Green Fingers, thank you so much for the 2 ice creams. Absolutely appreciate it. I hope you're having a wonderful day. So these are the jugs. These are the jugs that we fill up outside, and we carry them in here. We do that. We usually get a couple filled up before the evenings, so that if we need to touch up water before the evening and such, it's just easy to have them. So we will, after we're done getting the bunnies outside watered, we will go out and fill up some jugs and make sure that we have them in here ready for us for the evening. Right now, I am just absolutely making sure that I've got everyone watered in here, which it looks like we do. So next, onward and outward to the bunnies. So let me get the bunny food container. Actually, I need to check something because Lisa is out and about, and I need to make sure that we still have enough feed, or I might have to tell her to pick up some feed. And it looks like I might end up having to tell her to pick up some rabbit feed, because I do not see, we are running extremely low on rabbit feed. Which I don't know why we are running low on rabbit feed, but we are. So So I have my birds only for eggs and for breeding purposes. So I use them for eggs, but we also use them to sell. I do sell the chickens and such like that. So none of the animals that we have I purposely got for meat animals. The silkies, these guys, I'll show you one of the silkies. Here's one of the silkies. Hold on, let me hold him a little better. So here's one of the silkies. He'd actually not, I mean, he's not that good for eating. There's not like, if you look at my hand, there's not a lot, there wouldn't be a lot of meat on these guys. So silkies, I actually mostly raise silkies they are good egg layers. They are calm chickens. They make very good companion animals, aka pets. And they just, for certain people that collect their feathers and that kind of stuff, if you're going to do feather projects, they are really good with feather projects. So that's the part of the reason I raise those. I have some Old English right back here. I raise the Old English because they are a heritage breed. And I mostly just raise that so that there's a few people still raising those so that breed doesn't go extinct. And so that there's always people around that are still raising certain types of chickens. So that's why I rose those. The Muscovies are just the ducks. I just have Muscovies because I really like Muscovies. They do a good job of protecting the barnyard. They do a good job of just being mousers and weeders, and they're just fun to have. You could eat Muscovies. So if you see, Muscovy drakes are pretty big. So some people do eat Muscovies. They would be something that you can eat. Like I said, since we're mostly focusing on education here, because that is the main purpose of my farm, is we do education. I am not, I need to grab, hold on, let me grab that. That is why I probably don't eat, well, that's the reason we don't eat the Muscovies. Again though, like I said, we teach education. I'm not opposed if other people choose that they want to raise animals and they want to talk to us about eating your animals. I'm not opposed to eating animals. I just don't practice that. So, pass no judgment on anyone that does or doesn't. So just as a gentleman farmer, just not my cup of tea. So part of it has to do with my personal spiritual belief. I try not to take, I don't like to take a life. So it's harsh. It hurts me and in ways that's hard to explain. So just one of the downfalls I guess I have. So, but other people doing it, again, that is, if you have that ability, that is good. So because I don't have that ability, I recognize that in myself. And I also recognize that that is something that I have to be very aware of. And when I do things, I have to make sure in that scenario, I give my animals the best quality. I have to give my animals the highest, best quality of life possible. So you ask, so preppers would have to eat their animals? Not necessarily. And let me explain. So, if you are raising chickens, if you're raising chickens for eggs, your hen can have multiple purposes. Your hen can be your incubator, your brooder, and your egg producer. So your hen is creating you more chickens, and they're laying you eggs. So in that scenario, now you can also, you could also, if you have some of your animals that die of old age or die of something like that, you could actually take that and use that hen for animal food. Or you could use that chicken for animal food after it dies. Or if you've got other animals that you need to feed, like maybe a pig, or maybe you've got dogs and cats for protection and for other things. So if you aren't going to eat your own animals, you definitely, and you're a prepper and you're preparing for everything, you definitely have to be more creative. But all of your farm animals, from your pigs to your cows, to your sheep, to your Muscovies, to your chickens. They're all going to produce you some type of beneficial byproduct. So they're going to produce you, they're going to, like cows, sheep, and goats, they're going to enhance your hay fields. So what they're going to do is putting them in your hay fields. They're going to be improving your hay fields by eating the right things, by making the hay field cleaner, better, by eating the weeds, by trimming the grass at the top thing. So they're used properly. They're actually going to be able to save you money. Instead of having to buy fertilizer, instead of having to buy other things, they're going to enhance it that way. Pastor Jim, thank you so much for the diamond. Muscovies and chickens, what they're going to do is they are going to be creating you really good fertilizer and soil, so you can grow your own. So you'd be able to enhance being able to grow more, like being able to enhance the soil, to grow the soil more. Your pig, let's say you have a pig, you can put your pig in a pasture, or you can put your pig in a field, and they're going to plow through it, and they're going to till up the ground, and they're going to really improve the soil. So there is other benefits. Now, if you're crazy like us and you have tons of animals, yes, that is not a sustainable way to be a good prepper, and it's not a sustainable way to live a farm. So me and Lisa's talked about this many times. We have too many right now, and so like probably next year, when we teach some workshops and when we do some more teaching and bringing people here, we're probably going to do some stuff so that folks can take some animals with them. So like they come, they take a workshop, they're ready, they've got a setup at their house, or they're thinking about having a setup at their house. They'll be able to take, a couple chickens and maybe some ducks with them back to their homestead and start and just have a start. So that is something that me and her have talked about and we have considered, just because we got a little overzealous with collecting too many of our animals. I have a huge weakness for hatching eggs. So the joke for me is I don't really like chicken abortions. And so like if the egg has already started developing past like 2 weeks, if the hen has been able to hide that egg for 2 weeks, I usually let them completely hatch out. Which can be a problem sometimes, because sometimes I can be lazy when I'm cleaning out and looking in the cages and such like that, and maybe I'll miss some eggs if they're hiding them really well. And so that can mean that sometimes more babies appear. Lisa is far better at not letting the eggs get that old and not letting them get incubated that long. Me, it's just, I don't know. She is the detail-oriented person. I am the big picture. So how we complement ourselves is, it's like the forest for the trees. I can see the entire forest and the benefit of the forest and how the forest is interacting. She's really good at seeing the tree and the details of that tree and the importance of that single tree. So that's where we definitely mesh very well together. And I do suggest, if you are going to homestead, that whoever else with you, that is very beneficial to have one detail-oriented person and one big picture person, because the two of those together can really balance things out for you very well. Okay, let's go get the bunnies. Let's go say hi to the bunnies, get the bunnies fed and watered. You can see my beautiful fence. That Sylvia came in, the pig, the 600-pound pig, that decided that she didn't like my beautiful fence, and so she just knocked it down. So that's why you see a crazy pile of sticks right there, is because Sylvia decided that she didn't necessarily like that there was, I don't know why she didn't like that there was a fence there. It wasn't her cup of tea, I guess. And when a 600-pound pig makes a decision, you usually have to live with it. So hopefully, guys, I'll be streaming a couple more times because it looks like my little hack I did, it fixed for my phone, so it looks like I'll be streaming. But if for some reason I'm not streaming in the next couple days, I definitely want to wish everybody Merry Christmas. If you don't practice in Christmas and you practice in one of the other holidays this season, then happy whatever holiday you're practicing, and I hope that it is awesome for you. And if you're just chilling, watching this, all we're doing right now is feeding the bunnies. I'm going to, you guys can see just some bunny food. These guys need I need to get some hay in these guys later this week. We'll definitely need to kick some hay. Because you don't just want to feed bunnies pellets. You want to kind of break up what they're eating, and they want to have a little bit of hay and a little bit of other things as well. Let me get this guy fed. Let me get these guys fed down here, and we'll talk a little bit about more bunny related things in a few minutes. So we're gonna, as soon as I get these guys fed, which is good, let's head back over to the other side, and I'm going to show you guys what I do during the winter months to help keep my bunnies. So you guys notice that there's a lot of greenhouse plastic around the outside bunnies. So we did this last year, and it seemed to work really well. We make bunny greenhouses. So what we do is the bunny houses are all elevated off of the ground. So as the bunny houses are elevated off of the ground, we then, let me spin over here to show you exactly what we do. So what we do is we wrap them around entirely in plastic. And so you guys can see even on the inside. Now these guys are open up so they can talk to, so the two bunnies can talk amongst themselves, because bunnies do like to talk to other bunnies. So we wrap them entirely in plastic. And we've noticed, with the exception of the bottom, where we let the cold air drop down, and we keep the tops in plastic. And we've noticed that does a good job, especially during sunny days, of keeping the cages really warm. Not so warm that it's bad, but warm enough that their waters don't normally freeze, even when it is absolutely frigid cold outside. So that is very nice. That is a trick we tried last year, and it has been very successful. And definitely like to share our successes along with our failures. But it's always nice to share these successes as well. Let's get this guy. What's up, my brother? Okay. Let me get this water unplugged. I don't know if you guys can hear, but right over there is where our cistern is underground. Our cistern is right underneath of us, and there's about 36,000 gallons of water in our cement cistern that is underneath of us. It's actually at least two cells, and they're about 10 feet deep, about 8-10 feet deep, and they hold water underneath. A lot of it is water, rainwater catchment, and spring water filled and such like that. So that's what we use. And then I have a pump down here that pumps it and keeps it. So it makes our job very easy. And then we just carry it over. And part of the reason I was gonna, at one particular point, I had contemplated, just putting a pipe and running it to the building. But me and Lisa's talked about that, and we think that there's lots of reasons why we should make sure that we always stay strong fit, farm fit, and making sure that we can carry the water, even if it takes 2 trips or 3 trips or 4 trips, always making sure that we can carry the water that we need to. So I need to just remind me before I forget, let me quickly zip off a text. I'm not sure what you guys are going to be able to see. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to try to zip off a quick little text to Lisa to let her know to get some rabbit feed, because that is going to be important. Awesome. Perfect. Text message was sent. Hopefully it will be received. Usually we have a backup bag, and I don't know what happened to the backup bag. I must have either we must have went through it and I thought it was still there, or something silly like that. She asked a question, so let me answer her back. Okay. So just making sure that we were on the same page about getting rabbit feed, because I am out. I've got this last little bit and I've got this last guy to feed, so we will definitely be out of rabbit feed as soon as I feed this last guy right here. So by the way, guys, if you like watching me feed the farm, but you just kind of like to watch what's going on the farm on an everyday basis, we do have on DLive, we do have the channel Mavis Pharmacy. And if you're not necessarily using DLive, or you're watching this someplace else, on Twitch at xxxx, we do, the channel is also that is usually with the exception of very few other reasons, that's usually where the farm is always going 24/7. Occasionally I'll do this show on there, but I've noticed that I have mostly other engagements with some of the alternative sites. So most of the time, the farm is on Twitch at xxxx, and it's always on DLive at Mavis, Mavis Pharmacy, Farmacy. It's always on those two. And if it's down, it means the power went out or I lost internet to those cameras. So, okay. So we got one more thing. We just got to get Sylvia some snacks. And then we'll go for a short little stroll around the property like we normally do. And we'll talk a little bit about what the future plans is here and some of the stuff that I am going to do in 23, which is just so crazy to think about. 23, I moved here in 05, and 05 just felt like forever. And so thinking that we're already in 23, thinking that I have been here for almost 18 years. So let me show you guys, let me see if I can do this. Let's see. Important part of why you need good containers and why you should leave the containers on. So this is not a good container. This is just a container that we have. But there's why you want good containers. So let me thank you. I wonder how long the sound was out for. Okay. Well, hopefully the sound is back. And if it is, cool. So, but what I was saying before the sound went out is I was saying that during the World War II era, the families would do victory gardens, and victory gardens were amazing things. They were able to produce about 40% of the amount. Okay. Now, thanks, Greenfinger. They were able to produce about 40% of the food, of the veg that the families in the United States used. So it wasn't just big ag. It was just everyday people growing, you know, having gardens in their backyard that were able to produce amazing amounts of vegetables. And so one of the things of why we're going to do a victory garden here next year with one of the workshops is we're going to do a victory garden set up for a family of 4. There's 5 of us here, but we're going to still just set it with the calorie intake to be able to deal with being able to feed that many people. And that's going to be the experiment. That's going to be the big experiment that we're going to be doing here at the Farm Lab next year to show if that's possible, and our success and failure in that, so that I can help refine that, so we can pass that knowledge on, so I can transfer that into a workable workshop and make it so that I can give that away for folks that are in need, or folks that just decide that that's just things that they want to do. So, because part of the 2 big things that we do here is, one, not only do I train people to get into the beginning levels, because that's what we do here. It's the beginning levels. It's the kindergarten to homesteading. It's the kindergarten to, you know, learning how to get off grid. So you're a city kid, you're a suburb kid, and you want to move out and you want to try this. This is we're here to teach you the first steps, the beginner and intermediate levels of how to do this kind of stuff. So the other thing that we do is we help with the food security here in Appalachia. So I help train people. I help connect people with ways to be able to get out of their food desert, because we've got lots of hollers and lots. So the mic must be dead. So what I was saying is we have lots of hollers, lots of backwoods, lots of stuff. And so the other thing that we do is we train folks. We help you kind of figure out the steps on that. If you didn't hear the first part, the 2 big things we do is we help those in need, and we are the kindergarten homesteading, off-grid living, back to land, even gardening and such like that. We are the beginner intermediate level. We just teach you the basics. We teach you the basics. We teach you everything like that, and we go from there to make it work, and to help you do what needs to be done. So those are the main goals. And so all of the workshops that we do are designed so I can design more classes, or so that I can get people here, so you can get hands-on experience and just get better, so you too can grow the stuff you need. And the sun hits you right there, and learn all the things that you could possibly need to learn to just do cool things. North Carolina. I wonder where that truck's going or from. So let's see, anything else to recap before we head in? I think we're okay. They're going up to Winter Place. So I think that's probably everything for today. We're going to be doing some more classes and some more just fun hanging out. So if you don't follow Discord, !Discord, or discord.gg-x Dr. Firefly, that's the letter X, Dr. Firefly. You want to come over. A lot of times, a lot of the good conversations, a lot of the really in-depth stuff happens on Discord. So you should definitely hang out in the Discord. If you're following me on YouTube, a like and sub would be awesome. Again, just if you like to follow this kind of stuff, you want recaps. If you're following us anyplace else, like and sub is good as well. And oh, if you guys want, if anybody is interested in any type of donation, if you donate here on D Live, if you donate through Buy Me a Coffee, if you donate through PayPal, if you donate through really anywhere, remember that I am a 501c3, so all of your donations is tax deductible. So if you make a donation to me through any service, just understand that that is something that you can deduct from your taxes, because I am a 501c3, and so that is that counts as a deductible. If you need proof of that or anything, let me know. Send me an email, and I will give you all the paperwork that you need to prove that it is a donation and such like that. So, and I'd link you to our Etsy store, but Lisa hasn't updated our Etsy store in a while, so it's still behind. But anyways, guys, just following along, joining me on this fun adventure. If that's your cup of tea and that's what you want to do, that is awesome. I very much appreciate it. I like having someone to talk to and to hang out with while I'm feeding everyone, especially when it's more of me feeding everyone by myself. Very much appreciate that. And if you guys ever get a chance, you're ever in southern West Virginia and you're on 77, I'm about 5 minutes off of Route 77. You guys just want to swing by, you want to see what the farm's like, you want to see what it's like, definitely feel free to swing by and have some coffee, have some tea, come hang out for a bit. But other than that, guys, I think I am heading in for the day. I got some few things to do on the interwebs and some more projects to get done. So thank you guys for following me today. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Now that it looks like, I'm going to double recheck this, but now that it looks like I figured out my trick to be able to stream properly, I will be getting back to live streaming again, because I think I fixed the issue where it just kept erroring out the last couple days. So hopefully that'll work. And if that is, that's awesome. And I'll be doing this more regularly, especially when the snow falls, because I love going on snow hikes. So we'll be doing some snow hikes in the very near future. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. It's Doc. Till tomorrow, adios.